No, I'm not.
Holy my God! Oh my God!
The skyline is supposed to symbolize power, control, precision, but instead, what we're seeing is something much darker. Streets collapsing into rivers, traffic frozen in rising water, and one of China's most celebrated megacities struggling against a storm it clearly couldn't contain. That's the moment that sends chills down your spine, not the rain itself, but the realization that the system everyone believed was unbeatable suddenly looks fragile. Shanghai has been marketed to the world as the ultimate example of modern urban power. A place where infrastructure is massive, planning is meticulous, and the machinery of the city never stops. Skyscrapers stretch endlessly into the sky. Bullet trains cut through the countryside, and the narrative is always the same. This is what unstoppable development looks like. But water has a brutal way of exposing reality. It doesn't care about reputation, GDP, or national image. It doesn't slow down because the city believes it is prepared. When rainfall intensity crosses a certain threshold, the illusion of control begins to crack. And that crack appeared fast.
Floodwaters did.
First, the streets filled. Then, underpasses vanished beneath ground currents. Subway entrances turned into waterfalls as floodwater poured down staircases. Cars stalled in intersections that only minutes earlier were dry pavement. Drivers abandoned vehicles and tried to escape through rising water. Within hours, the unstoppable rhythm of Shanghai slowed to something far more chaotic. Traffic lights blinked over empty, flooded lanes. Emergency crews rushed through neighborhoods trying to help stranded residents. Phones lit up with warnings urging people to stay away from low areas. And across the city, millions of people watched the same unsettling scene unfold outside their windows. The water wasn't stopping. Flood disasters are terrifying for one simple reason. They move faster than people expect. You can prepare for storms, you can track forecasts, but the moment water starts rising faster than infrastructure can remove it, everything changes. A normal street becomes a trap, a tunnel becomes a basin, a subway line becomes a risk. That's exactly what makes the Shanghai footage so disturbing, because it reveals something many people prefer not to talk about. Even the most engineered megacities have limits. And when those limits are crossed, confidence turns into confusion almost instantly. Residents described hearing the rain pounding rooftops like a constant drumbeat. Some woke up to emergency alerts warning them to avoid certain districts. Others looked outside and realized the situation had already escalated beyond anything they had experienced before. In the darkness of night, the fear multiplies. Water looks deeper than it is, or sometimes much deeper than anyone realizes. Manhole covers can lift under pressure. Debris floats beneath the surface. A single step can throw someone off balance in a current that suddenly feels stronger than expected. Parents carried children through flooded sidewalks. Elderly residents were helped down apartment stairs as elevators were shut down for safety. Volunteers guided strangers through dangerous intersections where the road itself had disappeared beneath murky water. Meanwhile, Shanghai's vast transportation system began to falter. Subway services were disrupted. Roads closed as floodwaters made driving unsafe. Flights faced delays as airport routes flooded. For a moment that would have seemed impossible just hours earlier. One of the busiest cities on Earth slowed to a crawl. And when Shanghai slows down, the ripple spreads far beyond China. This is a city deeply connected to global finance, trade, and shipping. Its port handles enormous volumes of cargo moving across the world. Businesses in North America, Europe, and Asia depend on the stability of the networks that run through the city. Extreme weather here doesn't stay local. But beyond the economic consequences lies something even more powerful. The emotional shock of seeing a place that prides itself on strength suddenly appear vulnerable. It reminds people of a simple truth that no amount of development can erase. Nature always holds the final card. Stormwater systems, flood barriers, drainage tunnels, all of them are designed with limits. Engineers calculate those limits based on past rainfall patterns. But when storms grow more intense, those limits can be exceeded faster than expected. That is when a carefully designed city begins to look chaotic. The images coming out of Shanghai show exactly that moment, the point where planning collides with reality. Yet amid the fear and confusion, something remarkable always appears. Human solidarity. Neighbors helping neighbors through flooded streets. Volunteers distributing water and food to displaced families. Emergency crews working through dangerous conditions without pause, knowing that every minute matters when floodwaters are rising. These are the moments that define disasters far more than the rainfall totals or the economic losses. Because floods test more than infrastructure. They test communities. My thoughts are with the families who are forced to leave their homes, the small business owners facing damage, and the rescue workers who spent the night navigating dangerous conditions to keep others safe. If you want continued coverage of severe weather events and the real impact they have on cities around the world, subscribe to Weather Floods and turn on notifications for updates. Because storms like this don't just reveal the power of nature, they reveal the limits of everything we thought was unbreakable. Stay informed, stay prepared, stay safe.